Hi guys, Android Andy here. Now you may have seen my recent unboxing and been kind of surprised by it. It was of a Nokia Lumia 1520, this phone right here. You may have been a bit confused, why did I do that? I'm an Android fan. Now I have only used Android phones for the last 4.5 years almost, I think. And I do often think really to appreciate what you've got you need to know what the alternatives are. Which was why when Clove gave me the opportunity to borrow this Nokia Lumia, clove.co.uk, many thanks to them, I thought, you know what, I might as well give it a go, just see what is Windows operating system all about, what's it like these days. Windows was the last operating system I used before Android, but at that point it was, I don't know, 6.1 perhaps. Wasn't particularly touch friendly, it was very different, totally different to what it is now. So I thought, you know, I really should give it a go. It makes me wonder someday I'm going to have to use an iPhone to, you know, because it always surprises me sometimes. Oh, we've got this now. We've got notification centers. What? You didn't have it before? We've got automatic updating apps. What? You didn't have that before? So at some point I'm going to have to use an iPhone really to see exactly what they do have. To again probably appreciate Android more, I would hope. Anyway, so I used the Nokia Lumia 1520 for a week, and I thought I would give you my thoughts on Windows Phone as an Android user. Hopefully it might be of use to some of you. So I'm going to start off seeing the screens off, just showing you I kind of like the wake screen. I'm not entirely sure, there we go, so that's triggered it. So I guess it's the proximity sensor which triggers it. It's very subtle, it's very well, low energy I suppose. It's not bright. It doesn't, if you plug your power in, you've got it set so that this comes on when the power's on at night, it doesn't illuminate the room at all. It's a very subtle display. So we go into the actual phone itself. You get the lock screen, you get a bit of information, the weather. So I've got it set to show me the weather as a background, but you can have Twitter or other apps being the information giving element of it. Then we're into the home screen itself. Obviously Windows has live tiles as opposed to widgets, and you can see things spinning around, and there's me jumping in and out, and the battery widget flips back and forth. That's a third-party battery widget. There's the weather, flips back and forth, photos are scrolling through, and you can pretty much add as much to that as you want. So if I wanted to add a BBC iPlayer one, I pin to start, boom, and there it is. And then to change how big it is, I hold down on that. Now it looks like this one's only going to be, oh no, there we go. So you tap the corner to change the size. When you're happy, you tap on it again, and there we go. Now if I want to move that within my home screen, I slide it up somewhere and it forces a gap. I can move that over if I wanted. Again, I could change the size of that if I wanted. I can't decide if I like that it doesn't sort of autofill things, so it just leaves a hole. And actually when I first did it, I was a bit, because I mean literally you can make your home screen look really quite gappy. And I thought, oh, that's a bit weird, surely it should auto-fill those gaps. But actually I wonder, I think it might annoy me if it then just started moving things around automatically. That I'd be like, no, that's not how I want it. So maybe it is, oh, now, yeah, I get that quite often. So you saw there, I actually tried to hold down to move it back, and instead it selected, and I do get that happening when I try and slide sometimes. It seems to select instead, even though I think it's been quite a clear, I'm sliding, it thinks I'm selecting. Anyway, oops, I did type that, that was me, not the OS. So to get rid of it, unpin, then it drops down. When it's got a whole row that's empty, it drops down. So actually, yeah, I think that's probably the right way. It probably would annoy me if it just started moving things around automatically. It's very smooth, so you see how much that slides. I just give it just a bit of a nudge and it slides away. But that also gets quite annoying. So I'm sliding to something I want, and I have to actually stop it and then tap whatever it is I want. Again, maybe I'm being a little bit fussy, but just something I noticed. The theming, I think, is actually, oh, so we got stuff like this. I don't think there's any actual Google apps on Windows Phone. I should know, but I don't. I have a feeling that they had disagreements and withdrew them, but I might be wrong. I seem to remember something about YouTube. Windows blocked Google's own adverts to put their own or something like that, so Google pulled out. Let us know in the comments. You might remember better than me what the situation is. But yeah, all the other apps are generally third party. Now, one thing I found, and I think it's probably very similar to Android's early days, a lot of the applications just link to web apps, which is a bit frustrating because they're generally not very good. Some of them just look a bit dated. So Foursquare reminds me of how I think Foursquare used to look on Android like a year and a half ago, perhaps. I mean, you might like it, you might prefer it. There's not necessarily anything wrong with it, just seems a little bit dated. The theming of apps, even apps that are third party though, is very good. So, you know, almost all Windows things, you slide like so, and you'll see the top bit moves onto the next menu. I like how consistent that is through almost all applications. I don't know if there'll be another one I can. Now, you get things like Dropbox though. I was really surprised there's not an official Dropbox app. Or if this is official, it's really bad. And I've tried a couple of different ones. And you can't, from what I can tell, I cannot download from Dropbox to the phone itself. So what did that do? Did that actually go in? What are we doing here? Oh dear, it's an MP4. It's going to take a long while to... So I tap the drop down. I can share a link or I can delete. Well, can I not download? What's... So I can get the picture. Oh, look, it's me. Do you want to exit the application? Well, I didn't particularly. I thought I was going, oh, I see there's a back within the application. So the back Windows key would have brought me out of the application. I have to use the back within the application itself to navigate. So that's, again, that's a bit odd, in my opinion. So let's come out though now. One other thing I noticed, and I probably can't, excuse me, I probably can't show you because I've already done it on most of them. But I have to authorize the phone to, or the application, sorry, I have to authorize each application to use my location. Now, if I've turned location sharing on, generally, you know, go ahead and use it. I find that a bit annoying, a bit frustrating. But there you have it. So I mentioned the sort of the theming and the consistency of the theming. Now, one thing is how it lays the screen out, as you can see. So we've got all capitals settings, then everything's lowercase, then different sizes and different colours. I mean, that looks okay, I think. But at the same time, actually, I found it quite annoying. Annoying, is annoying the right word? Just, I don't know, messy, I suppose. See, again, I thought I was fairly clear that I was sliding that up, but it's selected. Okay, I maybe did tap that one, there we go. So, I don't know, I'm used to there being kind of lines or boxes or something being a button. So, I don't know if I can show you. I've not got a sim in. But, so I've spoke to Winkworth Finchley, so call their number. I have to tap that to call them. But it didn't, it sounded a bit silly. I didn't realise straight away that's what I had to do. I was kind of looking at this, it just looks like information. It doesn't look like I've got buttons to press. But again, that's, you know, the same sort of theming, or actually it's not quite the same because there are some capital letters in there. So we can have a quick look at the dialer actually. But it's all, you know, it's all quite neat. Not much to see there, I suppose. And I like how it all kind of swings in and out. Everything, you know, works the same way. It is very smooth. It's nicely implemented. But then there's things like I only get the one keyboard. So that's the Windows keyboard. There's no, I don't think, yeah. So there's no hold down to get to numbers like I would expect in almost all Android keyboards these days. So you do have to tap to get your numbers and your different characters. Or having said that, it's quite a nice keyboard. It works quite well, but there's no swiping, which I've got kind of used to for one-handed input. Which I find a bit of a shame. And as I say, you know, I don't think you can change your keyboard. That's a Windows restriction. They don't like you mucking about too much with that. Then I suppose the next thing I really miss is toggles. So if I want to turn my Wi-Fi on and off, I've got to go into settings. I've got to find Wi-Fi there, which is not massively hard, and I've got to turn it on and off there. So it's not like a massive chore. I'm just very used to being able to, you know, just bring down my notification bar and tap a Wi-Fi icon. There may be, see again, I was sliding up and down there. I was fairly sure I was sliding up and down, but it chose to open the app. I've totally lost my train of thought. So maybe there's live tiles that I can get that I can tap. It's done it again. You see, I'm getting quite annoyed with it now. I didn't tap to open that. I'm trying to slide. So maybe there's live tiles that I can tap that turns the Wi-Fi on and off. Maybe I didn't look. Still, really. I'm going to be throwing this thing out the window fairly soon. So I missed the toggles. Probably the thing I missed the most is notifications. So I received a text message. I was on the phone a lot, so I'm ringing the stage. I was on the phone a lot. I hadn't realised that a text message had come in while I was on the phone. It was actually about an hour later that I noticed there's a little one in the corner of the live widget. If that live widget's not there, I'm assuming I don't see it all, which might be what happened with. So I've got WhatsApp installed, and I had a WhatsApp message around about 2 o'clock on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I didn't even realise until the next day when I installed, or I went back to my Android phone that had WhatsApp installed, that I actually saw it. Sorry, Pete. So yeah, I don't know, how do I have to have a WhatsApp again? Really? Do I have to have a WhatsApp live tile on the home screen for me to know that I've received a WhatsApp message? So that's probably what I missed the most. You can get kind of a view on. So I've got no SIM card in at the moment. Wi-Fi, vibration mode, and the battery. Oh, do you see that? That was on 99% a few moments ago. I'm not sure what's going on there. This is not so much, I suppose, the operating system. This is probably the phone rather than the operating system. Anyway, I quite like there's kind of a hub for me and everything that's going on, so I can see all my notifications there. I'm not quite sure how I set them to being read or unread or what have you. But that was quite nice. So what else? I think the only thing really left that I wanted to show you, so let's go to apps. Well, two things perhaps. I find it a bit odd that you can only have the view like, well, I think you can have the view like this. Oh, come on. I'm swiping, I'm not tapping. I've lost my train of thought again. Yeah, so they're in one. Oh, are you serious? Bloody thing. So why can't I have a grid? So on most of the, well, on iPhone and Android, you can have all your apps as a grid of icons. Why does it have to have it in one big long list? So when you go looking for something, you've got to swipe all your way through to find it. And then the only other thing I was going to point out was on Facebook, I was trying to upload some photos. Going to Facebook, I tell it upload, and I pick my my pictures, and I said upload, and I turned it off and put it in my pocket and carried on with my business. 5 minutes later, I turn it on, it says, oh, we stopped uploading because you closed the app. Well, no, I didn't close the app, I turned the phone off. So I did it again. I left the phone on my desk with the screen on. I carried on using my computer. I look back, the screen's gone off. I turn the phone back on, swipe in, and it's telling me the same thing. You turn the phone off, you turn the application off, or whatever. So we stopped uploading. I thought, really? I've got to sit there and wait for the photo to upload, do nothing else, and keep the phone awake? Really? So, yeah, slightly annoying. It seems quite an efficient operating system. Last charge Monday at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's now Friday midday, and it says I'm on 85%. Although the discharge speed is cranked right the way up to 6 because I've got the screen on almost all the time. I would just point out, even here they're not quick toggles. It's a quick access to Wi-Fi, so that's a bit of a shortcut, I suppose. But I did find generally on this particular phone, but I would think it perhaps is mirrored on most others, that the standby time was very good because my Facebook evidence would tell me it pretty much shuts everything else down when the screen goes off. So, I mean, this has been screen off since probably Monday, and it's burnt with very little battery. It's only just started burning it again now because I'm using the screen. When I used the phone to sat-nav, just for a couple of hours, it did burn through battery really very quickly. I should point out, actually, that's something that I do quite like. There are some good built-in apps like the sat-nav. Seemed pretty good. I didn't really have any problems with it at all. Good clear instruction, good clear view, generally, and it's free. You can download. Now, one thing was weird actually. I said, yeah, download the maps, download all of the UK. It said, oh, it's just 300 meg. You can't do that on a data connection. Oh, you need to do it on Wi-Fi. Really? 300 meg? I've got an unlimited data plan. let me use it. I can download 300 meg in a matter of a few minutes. But strangely, I think it then later, so I tried again and gave him the same warning or message that he wouldn't do it, but I'm fairly sure actually it did. So I was a bit confused as to what happened there. But yeah, there's some nice built-in apps like that for Windows Phone. So all in all, my Windows Phone experience, it wasn't really a bad experience. It's quite a nice, fluid operating system. There's obviously a lot of thought gone into it, but there was a lot of little things that I missed, like not being able to look what's draining my battery or what's just used the battery power, for example. The quick toggles for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you know, I really missed not having them. And just some specific apps really that I've got used to using on Android now for a number of years. There may be alternatives. I looked for an alternative to TV show favs, for example, to see that I could mark off what TV shows I'd watched and help find new TV shows. I couldn't see an alternative. It may be out there, maybe I just didn't look hard enough because I suppose I didn't have to. If Android didn't exist, if it was wiped off the planet tomorrow, yeah, I could live with Windows Phone. It was a reasonable operating system, and like I say, fluid, well themed, generally well presented, but at the end of the day I was glad to get back to my Note 3. So there we go, it was a good start, and maybe it continues to improve and maybe it gets better and better, and they add some, you know, they have fixed some of these tweaks and the more apps appear on their store. But for now, for me, it's not really a challenger to Android. Those are my thoughts. I'm sure there'll be differing views. Pop them in the comments below, and let's see if we get some lively discussion. My name's Andy, I'll catch you all again soon.